Ignoring him, she continued to speak directly to me. Before I could respond, the entire table erupted with everyone talking at once. I took my older kids upstairs, and when I returned to the dining room, her husband was asking, "What the hell is wrong with you? Why would you even think to ask that?" She tried to justify herself, but I asked them to leave. I told her she was no longer welcome at my house or around my children until she gets help. She started screaming that I don't deserve my life or my children and that I stole her baby from her. Her husband and my mother-in-law apologized profusely and dragged her out of the house while she continued to cry and scream. Now my kids want to know why their aunt wants to take the baby. Update 1. My sister-in-law has been admitted to a psychiatric facility. In the comments of my previous post, I mentioned that her husband was seeking counseling for them to deal with infertility before this incident. After the incident, he sought out a psychiatrist rather than a counselor, and they had their first session last week. Although I didn't get the specifics, the psychiatrist felt she was a danger to others, specifically my baby and me, and placed her under an involuntary hold. My brother-in-law has been nothing but apologetic throughout this entire ordeal and has kept her away from us since the incident. Our mother-in-law has been staying with them to keep an eye on Sophia, and a couple of concerning things happened. First, Sophia tried to leave the house in the middle of the night, and when questioned why, she said it was to see her baby. Then, my brother-in-law found her researching how to induce lactation. She said it was to ensure she could feed the baby properly when I come to my senses and give her up. I'm grateful for the advice offered on my last post, as some of it was really helpful. We won't be moving since it's not feasible for us at the moment, but we have taken extra steps with security both at home and at the kids' school and daycare. We already have a security system and cameras because there has been a trend of break-ins in our area. No one, not even the in-laws, has the code or keys to our house, so we're safe on that front. Unfortunately, a restraining order won't happen because it will take more than this to justify requesting one. We've never relied on her for childcare or pickups, so she's essentially a stranger to the daycare and school. This whole situation is taking a toll on the family, but my in-laws and brother-in-law are taking care of Sophia, while my husband and I focus on ensuring our family's safety and minimizing the impact on our kids. Update 2. I've received a few messages asking how things are going, so I decided to update. I haven't seen my sister-in-law since the incident, and I've blocked her on all my socials. My in-laws have been amazing throughout this entire situation and are not sharing any information about our family with her. Unfortunately, she remains fixated on my baby. She tried to find out where the daycare is and even threatened to harm herself if my in-laws didn't tell her. This led to another stint in the psych ward. She wrote me a letter begging me to be fair and let her see her baby. I didn't receive the letter, though. My mother-in-law read it and just gave us the gist of its contents. Sophia's husband is working with her psychiatrist to see how best she can be helped. He has said he doesn't know how long he can deal with this but is giving it 6 months to see if she improves. If she doesn't, he may consider other options. Understandably, not everyone is equipped to help someone through a mental health crisis. I suggested he see a therapist because he's been so focused on her mental health that he hasn't considered his own. Hopefully, the therapist will help him deal with the situation. I don't think he's hard and fast with that timeline, as he said it in a moment of frustration. It's been a lot for him to handle, especially since they've only been married a little over a year. At this point, we're completely no contact with her. We've explained to our older kids that their aunt isn't well, so she won't be around anymore. We still see my mother-in-law and father-in-law regularly, so I'm grateful we didn't have to cut them off. We spent the holidays with my family, and it was nice and uneventful. We're still on alert in case she escalates, but the hospital where she's being treated isn't near us, and they don't live near us either, so we've accepted this as our new reality and are operating accordingly. Update 3. Many people have been messaging and commenting, asking for an update on my situation from 7 months ago. Firstly, my family and I are safe. My sister-in-law was eventually released from the hospital to continue outpatient treatment with a psychiatrist, and she's on some medication. My husband met with her, her husband, my mother-in-law, and my father-in-law to gauge her mental state. She was very apologetic and seems to understand the issues with her previous behavior. She asked to see the kids and me, but that was, of course, a no. My husband made it clear that she will have no access to us for the foreseeable future. Since her discharge, my mother-in-law has been diligent about informing us when Sophia would be at their house, so we wouldn't accidentally run into her. My mother-in-law recently told my husband that Sophia has been saying it's hard not being able to see the kids. She shared this for our information, not to guilt us into changing our boundaries. Sophia and her husband are considering migrating to give her some distance, hoping it will help her healing. I'm hoping for the best for their future, but it will be a future without my kids and me in it. Regarding fostering or adoption is very difficult in our country, and due to her now documented mental breakdown, it will be impossible for her to do either. Although she remains apologetic and still wants to see the kids, my husband has made it clear that he will be the only one she has access to.